is not everything or the whole story. Everything you think you know about an event, the information that you've come to understand, has been given to you by the news, by the media. Well, what if that news or that media haven't been telling you the truth? If you are old enough to remember April 20th, 1999, you will remember seeing scenes like this on your TV. The Columbine shooting is used even to this day as a foundation for gun legislation. Looking at the piece of video that I just showed you, you see the children running around a body that was laying there. That body was supposedly one of the students that was shot that day. The only problem is that body wasn't there when the police arrived. And in fact, I'll show you where they got it from and what they did with the body, and you'll realize that it was a dummy. This footage comes from the helicopter that was there on the scene, and it's showing you the fire truck as they back it into position, get stuck in the mud, and have to reposition it a few times, causing it to create ruts in the grass. We can use that as a timeline, as a sequence of events, so we know that what came first and in what order the rest of the videos came in. This was the first video. You didn't see this on TV. They didn't show you these things because if they did, you would have been able to piece together what happened that day. Now that fire truck will be repositioned a few times during the next sequence. And it's the same fire truck that you saw in the scene with the children being evacuated and running around the body. These are all the unedited videos. There's no creative editing in there. This is as it happened. The fire truck got stuck. They had to pull it out and then reposition it, walking it down alongside of the sidewalk to get it into position. As you will see here in a moment, you will see the police, after the fire truck is situated, form a small group to go around to the side of the school and recover one of the bodies. The fire truck is finally positioned. You saw the puff of smoke out the back. And now they're going around to extract the body. But you'll notice they grab the body by the arm and by the leg and drag it across the concrete, allowing the head to bounce on the concrete.
My legs are stiff or numb.
It's a bad way to be.
Totally unrealistic to what reality would dictate. Dragging along the concrete, bouncing the head. Now what they do is they pull it around to the front of the fire truck, pause for a moment, take a breath, bend down, pick it up, and stick it on the front of the bumper of the fire truck. So now they're going to get a group together and go back for the second body. Now, if you'll notice, in front of the fire truck, across the concrete sidewalk, is where they claim that the body of the first student they encountered was, but there's no body there. That's because that body was the body that they're going to recover right now and drag it around and position it
I don't know what
in
the
front of
problem
the truck.
with the police radio is. This one's mine.
As you can see, the first body is still pinned up on the bumper.
Well, they're in the building now. It's going to get worse.
That's not a body. That's a dummy.
See, this one's set
And
on
you'll notice
scanning. I
this
can't
is
take it
another
off.
dummy that they're going to drag. Watch the head bounce on the concrete. Watch how loose the limbs are. And they leave it in front of the fire truck
Got everything
as they
locked
step
up.
over top of it, bouncing the head on the sidewalk. That is a dummy. That's the body that they use right there. They leave it in front of the concrete right there. They'll pull it out so they can get the fire truck around it. And that's the one that you see on all the press, on all the media, with the kids running out of the school as they're evacuated around the body. So what do they do with the first dummy? Well, they have to get rid of that one. They can't leave it on the front of the fire truck. So they pull this police car that you see in the picture around to the front of the fire truck, and you'll see them stuff the body into the back seat. Now you'd say, oh, that's a real person. They're taking that person to the emergency room. Wrong. The cop car stays there. This is all one continuous shot that you never saw on the mainstream media. Because if you did, you'd know the truth about this Columbine lie. Here comes the police car. They pick the one body up off the bumper,
See the picture? Are you watching the picture?
open up the back doors.
Yeah.
There they go, carrying it into the back seat, stuffing it in the back seat, going around the other side, pull it through, leaving the other dummy on the ground.
We just showed it, and I can't rewind. Dates in the we don't have anything on where they're coming out from. We actually know the okay, some after 4, and we're able to.
Now that police car stays there on the scene.
Right there, Doug, right? See the glass wall, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
As this is one continuous shot, we can see the other teams lining up, ready to do their part of the exercise in this multi-jurisdictional drill. Over 90 agencies showed up there that day, including NATO.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we have to do is just mark down the position because we've got kids scattered all over. We've got reports that there are kids in private homes that will hover.
As the camera pans back around, we see that the police car is still sitting in the same spot with the dummy in the back. And the police officers are prepping the body that's on the ground in front of the truck. They'll move it to the other side of the sidewalk so they can bring the fire truck back around and get ready for the next scene when they run the children out around the body and up the stairwell over to the parking lot. Here's where they're prepping the body. Dragging it around a little bit. If you were to see this on the mainstream media shown to you that day, you would have known the truth. That this whole entire event was a drill, and it's being used by mainstream media and the anti-gun lobbyists to push agenda. That, by Homeland Security's own definition, is terrorism. Now, as we watch them run the children out, we see them running around the body, the dummy, that they left there alongside of the truck. But they're not done with the dummy yet, because after this, we still see the one camera shot here as it pans to the right to follow this officer. Then pans back to the left. And we see them dragging the dummy once again through the mud with the limp arm, no joints, and they leave it in the puddle. For those of you who still think that that's a real person, just note the arm. There's no joint. It's bending backwards. It's a dummy. A dummy. I've done so much work on the Columbine case. If you're not familiar with my work, and there's a chance that you aren't, it's because YouTube, Facebook, and all the other video platforms have taken my work down. They've attacked my website, wellaware1.com, and attacked me personally. Don't let them get away with forcing you to give up your firearms. Don't let them use this event and the other drills that they call school shootings as a platform for them to push gun control.